Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Cole.
Welcome to our home. Let us know who all's out there. Just kind of chat with us for a second while we let everybody get logged on and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
This week our movie was
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
And of course, our main character was.
Well, there wasn't necessarily a main character, but there was Ned Land.
I would say the main character, and it is Captain Nemo. To me.
Yeah.
Hey, Lance, nice to see you, brother.
Hey, Lance. Hey,
Miss Michelle, nice to see you. And so, but that's just me. We'll get into that with the review. Hey, I want to say thanks so much for everyone who has subscribed. We broke 200 this week, and we are so excited about growing into a larger channel. Our Dole Whip, how to make a Dole Whip video, has done extremely well. I'm gonna talk like Trump for a minute. No, but all seriousness, we've enjoyed you guys, and hopefully we'll continue to produce videos you guys enjoy. And we're thankful for each and every one of you.
Hello, movie talker. And Mike Cross.
Yeah, Mike, nice to see you tonight. Lance says we are watching from the car. Nice.
We're not.
We're at the house. But I was just in the car, and somebody sent me a video I'm going to put up on Managing Mickey's Facebook. It's a lip sync deal, and it's of Yoda and Luke from Rise of Skywalker, if I remember right.
It's not Rise of Skywalker. It's Last Jedi.
And it's called My Stick.
Yes, I've seen that video.
It's good. It's funny. I'll put the link up in Managing Mickey's Facebook page.
It's pretty
You guys
funny.
can watch it later. That'll be a good time. But for now, thank you, Dustin. Thank you very much. We're so excited.
It shows on here there's only 2 viewers, but that can't be the case. There are multiple people commenting.
Yeah, well, they may be fading in and out.
Yeah. Anyways.
Actually, it's fairly decent lip reading. I mean, seriously. But yeah, it's called My Stick is Better Than Bacon. That's it, Mike. Super funny to me. I thought it was anyhow.
Funny.
You may watch it and be like, that's lame, but lame is funny to me.
All right, so.
Yeah,
it's the same people who made the Seagulls video. It's
funny. The same people. That's right.
All right, we got 3 likes, by the way.
All right, thank you all for the likes, and thanks for tuning in.
So before we start the discussion, do you want to give some of your personal thoughts that aren't really like question-based or anything like that?
Well, since I haven't seen all the questions, I don't know that I want to give my personal thoughts. They may be part of the questions, but did you want to give some of yours?
Yeah, I was going to give some of mine. So I just wanted to note a few things that don't really go into the questions. So the first thing I want to say is I really liked how it was all shot and it wasn't CGI. I know back then there wasn't much CGI for people to use in movies, but I don't know. It just made it feel more real to me watching the film.
Yeah, and the underwater scene was kind of cool because you knew that they
filmed it underwater. It wasn't like in.
It wasn't a computer generated
thing.
Item. Yeah, I liked it.
I liked that. I thought the actors played their roles pretty well. I mean,
I remember when we were watching it, I told Cole, the guy that was in the when they were under the water and they got the big helmets on, the guys on American Pickers one time bought one of those helmets, or was at a pick and somebody had one of the helmets from the movie. That's super cool. All right, let's get started.
All right, that's just good. Yeah. All right. So I wanted to know, what did you guys expect going into the film?
Hi, Gerard. Sorry about that.
That's all right. What did you guys, especially for me, I was new going into the film. If you've already seen this film before, what did you expect when you were going in? All right. Lance said it was a breakthrough film. Filming underwater, it was recognized for underwater photography. They filmed it in 1954. Yeah. But I thought the film was going to be very interesting. I thought it was going to be very slow. At first, it was pretty slow, but I would say it was not as slow going after the first 20 minutes.
I'm with Emily. It was a little slow to start,
Yeah.
It was, but I think that was kind of the way movies were
Back then.
in 1954. A lot of them, as you watch, are a lot slower to get started. I'll agree with you, Michelle. I would have expected more songs.
Yeah.
But, I almost feel like sometimes that's a breath of fresh air not having as many songs.
A little bit, yeah.
It can be. Sometimes Disney likes to put too many songs out there, in my opinion. But if you're a song lover, then you obviously would
I'm a
disagree.
song lover, but I agree with you in a sense. I would have actually preferred if Ned Land, that's the guy with the ukulele. I would have preferred if he actually had a little more variety in the songs. He had the one song.
Yeah.
And it kind of got repetitive as it went on. But other than that, honestly, the songs were pretty good. Anyways, what did you expect going into the film, Dad?
I expected it to be a little bit more than it was, to be honest. I felt like it was kind of like, because I hadn't seen it, to be honest. And so when I watched it, the first 20 to 30 minutes was kind of like dragging on to me, just getting going. But it was interesting how they took, and they did do this. They developed characters throughout the story to really get going.
Yeah.
To me, the bulk of the story is about the professor ending up on Nemo's submarine.
Yeah.
And so the pre-section of the movie there is what I'm going to call that, because at that point it gets a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
But prior to that, it's just kind of like trying to get you ramped up and know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just telling you the context in which this bulk part of the movie sets in. And so to me, that telling of the context was a lot more boring than the rest of the movie.
Yeah. We'll go into that in a little bit more.
The rest of the movie, it felt like it came along pretty good.
Yeah.
Am I answering questions now or something? I don't want to spoil your questions.
Nah, not really. But all right, let's see. I expected a few more songs. All right, we already read that. Anthony loved the films. Said he liked the montages. Said Dustin Times.
Nice.
Yeah. Lance said A Whale of a Tale is actually one of the songs from sing-alongs. Not a lot of people realize it was from this movie. Cool. Lance said I also liked how the credits were in the beginning. Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be a musical. It was based on Jules Verne.
Right.
Yeah. There were a lot of unnecessary scenes. I would agree. I would agree with you on that one. That was Emily. All right. Let's move on to what was your favorite scene of the movie?
Right. Favorite scene of the movie?
I'm going to be honest. This may be silly, but I thought at least for me, the funniest scene was probably the scene where Captain Nemo and them are trying to eat the meal. He had just invited them into the...
Yeah.
And they eat the meal, and he's like...
And they're all acting like it's delicious, and then he starts telling them what was in it.
That fruit is sea cucumber.
Yeah, and that was pretty funny, because then the two of them get up, not the professor, but the other two, they get up and they're like, this isn't even edible. But meanwhile, they were loving the meal all the way up to the time they find out what was in it.
Yeah.
And so that was probably the best scene to me. I thought that was the funniest scene of the movie.
Yeah. There's also the scene where he says that the professor's life is expensive. He liked how he didn't feel very caring about his life compared to his friends.
I also liked the scene when they went to the beach. And
that was a lot more action filled.
Yeah. And I could see the giant squid scene. That was probably pretty awesome for 1954.
Yeah. Lance said, my favorite scene from the movie is seeing the organ, because that's the same organ that is in the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
Awesome. I did not know that. Nice factoid, Lance.
I thought it was interesting. I won't go into some of the other stuff. I'll have to go into a little more detail.
You said the beach scene was great. I agree with you, Dustin.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's loud to the mic.
Sorry, my foot got caught in one of our benches.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, what was your least favorite scene in the movie?
Your least favorite scene in the movie? Oh,
for me, it was the opening scene.
Where they're at the marketplace there, or on the town square?
Yeah, honestly, really. That was pretty much the most boring scene, in my opinion. Because, honestly, it really didn't even add anything other than saying there's a beast.
Well, I think that scene's kind of important because it kind of gathers a lot of facts for the movie. It's kind of setting your stage. What seemed like I'm going to go with Emily here on some unnecessary scenes was when, what was his name? The one that played the fiddle?
Oh,
or the ukulele?
Yeah. Ned Land.
All right. So when Ned is down there trying to steal jewels and he's hiding them in his ukulele and all that stuff, I felt like that was an unnecessary scene that wasn't important. It was just them trying to add another scene. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah. Michelle said it amped you up for how life was going then.
Yeah. Talking about the beginning scene.
Yeah.
I felt like that too.
Yeah. I understand it's important, but I just still thought it was kind of the most boring. Emily said, I liked the scene where they were singing on the battleship. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was a good scene.
I said mine was the cannibal scene. It was weird and probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
All right, Dad.
Lance, you agree with me about something? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. All right, let's just move on to the next question. Do you think this movie is overrated or underrated? I personally think that I think it's pretty much judged fairly. People who are really into Disney history or somebody who's really analytical about a movie might really enjoy this film because it has a lot of philosophical questioning, and it's a big part of Disney's history, or even just film history, really. But
I think that's a tough question. And the reason I feel like that's a tough question is this film is filmed at a we're looking at it 65 years or whatever later.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so looking at it through that many years later, we look at all the high def television today and we're just like, oh, wow, that thing is so dated. And, it's just slow to get started. And, we're thinking about in our modern context of movies, and we're judging it according. It's like judging apples and oranges. I think the better thought here might be more of like storyline, plot line, those sort of things. I feel like in this movie there was a concept that was trying to be taught, but they left it
ambiguous.
No, I wanted to say that word, but that's not the word.
I saw you going this.
They left it where they didn't tell you what they wanted.
It's up to your interpretation.
Yeah. But they tried to come across with a theme line there that was, in the idea of is Captain Nemo right or is the rest of the world right?
Yeah.
And it was like there's this, and we get to look at that through a 65-year later lens and say, well, which one was right or which one's wrong and that sort of thing. And so, so to me, I feel like it served its purpose 65 years ago. And if you're looking at it from classic and from plot line, I mean, it's very good for its time frame.
It really is really good.
But at this point, if you put it out on the market today versus some other movie, obviously it's not going to score as high as some of the more modern shows because it doesn't have all the bells and whistles they have. But the plot line is there. I just feel like I'm with Emily. There were a few scenes that were in there that were unnecessary, that just kind of disrupted things. And then there were the discord between Nemo and the professor, and you could tell this struggle back and forth between this idealistic society and Nemo finding no forgiveness, no compassion in the world. And his idea was, I'm going to tear all these ships up that are making war, and I can fix everything, almost like a godlike mentality. And then you have the professor who's on the other end of the spectrum, who's, thinking, people are good at heart and all that stuff. And neither one of those are really true. There's really a middle ground there. People aren't good at heart, people are evil at heart. They just are. Honestly. It takes, you have to have a good, relationship with God.
Yeah.
And his moral law is what makes us behave good. Left to our own selves, we're evil. We just are.
Yeah.
And so you have that play and struggle back and forth, which that's what makes a good movie to me. And that's the really real plot line issue in our movie. Is this who's gonna get in the end, which way is gonna win? And in the end, neither way won.
Yeah.
Because of the ukulele player.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Almost a testament to the whole theme of the movie.
So let's see. What did everybody else say?
Lance said my favorite part of the movie is when they were my least favorite part of the movie was when they were underwater and they were talking the sea turtles with him.
Taking the sea turtles.
Oh, taking the sea turtles with him. I didn't like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little underrated though, because nothing at the park showcased it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
it got replaced by Nemo.
I mean,
by Finding Nemo, really.
Technically, yes, but I think there is one. I think there is one of the Nautilus still in the park. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure there's one as like an Easter egg.
Yeah, but I'm saying that what they're saying is it's not really represented.
Yeah.
For the history that it was. That's I think what they're saying.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's underrated because you have to think about the actual plot of the movie and how it touches base about the world is not ready for technology, and it will arise when we are ready.
Yeah. Maybe.
Technology advancements are scary because, and this, I think the movie does a good job of highlighting that, technology advancements are scary because with every branch of technology that advances, it's used not only for good, but for evil.
Yeah.
And Nemo hated the evil aspects of it. And that's why he didn't want to let his technology out.
That is this. Yeah. All right.
I mean, I could relate well with that character aspect of Nemo, but then Captain Nemo did evil things himself.
That's kind of the irony of the whole.
That was the difficulty
situation.
in it, yeah.
All right. Who was the best actor in the movie to you? I said Kirk Douglas, a.k.a. Ned Land. I mean, that may just be me. I thought he was... I
mean, he's the most famous one.
I know he's the most famous, but I'm just saying, I
feel like he played the part. He stole the role.
Yeah.
In that aspect. Kind of like, Val Kilmer did in Tombstone. Really, it was supposed to be Kurt Russell was the lead role, but Val Kilmer stole the show. And in this, you would think that Nemo would have been the main character in that aspect. But
yeah,
Kirk Douglas stole the role.
Honestly.
But Nemo's guy was good.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
I was going to say, he was like the second, in my opinion.
Right.
All right. Esmeralda. That's true. I mean, she played the sea lion pretty well.
Yeah, I agree, Lance. She did a good job.
Dustin Time said Nemo. Yeah. Michelle said, I like Nemo. Mm-hmm.
I mean, my favorite character in the movie was Nemo.
Yeah.
I feel like as far as acting, and that was what you were asking about, right?
Yeah. Acting wise.
Yeah, I feel like Kirk Douglas really probably stole the show, but Nemo had a solid performance. I mean, really, the guy who played it, I don't even know who he was, but
I'm trying to remember.
He had a solid performance.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of
And
your favorite,
he was my favorite.
yeah.
character.
Speaking of favorite character, who was your favorite character? You answered that.
Yeah, it's Nemo.
I think for me, maybe it's because he acted so much like a child discovering things about what's right and what's wrong. But I think Conseil was probably one of my favorite. A close second was the professor for me.
Interesting.
Because I guess it's because you look through their lens on how things were. I mean, really, Ned Land was just kind of like a side character. He was one of the people you watched the movie through, but honestly, I think Conseil and the Professor were my favorite characters because they were kind of indifferent to it all.
I guess the reason I'm a Nemo guy on it, and I get the Professor, and I liked him, and I liked Ned. Those were my three top, human characters. Esmeralda was great, but you guys would be great too if you were giving you raw fish for treats, right?
Yeah.
So that would be mine, and I think Kirk Douglas there as Ned. That's probably one of the better acting abilities and even character to me, because I think we can all resonate with that. I mean, you end up on a ship like that, a submarine, and you want to get off the thing, and you're going to act like that.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of relating back to what we're going through right now.
Yeah, I mean, you see people stuck inside and they can't go out, and they're trying to fight and protest, and they want out of their homes, and you got all this stuff going on. People relate to that, and to me, that's why Ned's character is so relatable.
Yeah. All right. So, do you guys think the themes of this movie are aided or hindered by the action adventure aesthetics or themes? So
read that again.
Do you think the theme of the movie is aided or hindered by the genre of the movie? So, like, it's more the themes of the movie you touched on earlier were kind of like the idea of technology and moving forward and how things are scary.
And do we think that was hindered by the action part of the movie? I think a little more action would have helped.
Honestly,
just me.
Especially because it was supposed to be kind of like the idea of things advancing on and how the unknown is kind of scary. It would have been.
I just want you to know there's a bevy of questions like that, Lance. A bevy.
Yes.
So I would agree with what I said a second ago, that there were a lot of scenes that kind of helped ramp up the action, helped ramp up the context of what was going on and the seriousness of it. But I feel like there could have been more.
Yeah.
But in that day and age, that probably was a lot. In 1954, a lot of action.
It really probably was, along with the squid scene, all the Cannibal Island.
Lance said he's going to answer in 15 minuets.
Okay. I'm never going to be able to lift this down.
No, that's funny. So something I liked about it, the action scenes that I felt like helped it a lot, was when they were all under the water and they rammed that boat while the professor and them were in there. That was a scene to let you know how serious they were about this whole technology issue and the good versus evil and all that. It really kind of brought it to a new surface. Up to that point, it didn't resonate as to how serious this was. It was like they were just trying to escape the world. But at this point, you realize that they're warriors underwater for the world. I mean, before that, you don't understand why they're ramming ships as much. But at that moment, you get it. Mm-hmm. And then in the end, when he blows the island up, and it's like this massive explosion, you're like, oh, yeah, he's serious. He's die hard for this.
Mm-hmm. The organ playing before they did it was awesome.
It was certainly intense, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The organ playing.
Yeah. Emily said hindered for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually kind of in the opposite idea. I think it was helpful because if it wasn't action adventure and let's say it was more somber, I don't think you would get the same point across on how strict Nemo was for getting his plan out. If he was just kind of like,
so you see a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of somber and you have a little bit of heightened action that are trying to drive his point home. The heightened action is whenever everything's going Nemo's way and he's ramming ships, he's blowing up islands, all that. But then when he's shot and he goes down into the submarine and he steers them out of there, and then they're just kind of floating down and he's expecting to just go down into the abyss and die, you see the somber aspect of Nemo's fight, as if, hey, the battle's over. I've won because they're not going to get what they wanted. But
yeah,
she said, Emily says, I feel like they went a little overboard.
Pun intended.
I agree with you, Emily. I think it was a little over the top, but that was
maybe a little to me, but I still think that they needed some of the action.
I thought the pun was good, Emily. It was very punny.
Yes. All right. What did you think the music helped with the? Hold on, let me formulate what I was gonna say. Did you think the music in the movie helped strengthen the action adventureness of it? So,
did you think it helped strengthen the movie? Is what you're saying? I'm going to level with you. I don't know that I paid any attention to the music.
I paid attention to the music. I thought it was. There were scenes that I thought were really good, like the ending scene where Nemo's in his little quarters and he's.
Emily loved the music.
Yeah. And I really did like the music where he's dying and he's looking out the little porthole, watching as he sees the end of everything he's been at, basically.
I liked the music when Ned was singing on the battleship. That was a fun scene.
Yeah, I honestly kind of wish he had a little more variety to some of the music, because every time he just plays that one song. But honestly, the song's really good. So I kind of just think it didn't matter really.
Maybe it was the only song he knew.
That's true.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. All right, what's your next one?
But yeah. All right.
And you guys comment your thoughts. I know Emily did, but the rest of you also. Lance says sailors always sang on ships, so yes. And also when Ned would mess with the guy's head. Yeah.
Yeah. Emily said the battleship scene was awesome.
Cole, Alex said you were listening to this morning, and she said it does help.
It does.
Yeah.
All right. Are the characters in this movie unique to this kind of style of a movie? So
are they unique? The characters?
Yeah, kind of like if you've read any other books or watched any sailor type movies, do you think these characters were pretty unique?
Unique?
Yes.
Nah, I don't think so. I think this is a pretty common type run of people. I mean, you oftentimes find kind of the roughneck sailor type, and then there's the educated, professor or doctor or something like that, or lawyer, and they end up on a boat, and the boat gets wrecked, or the boat has some sort of an issue, and then they all have to work together, and suddenly the roughneck sailor's not so, roughneck and less intelligent to the other guy, and vice versa. He realizes the professor or the whoever's not as bad as he thought he was, and it's kind of this binding moment between people, and really that's what happens in life.
Yeah, we
get around people and that happens. And so I feel like I don't think they're that unique in that way. Now Nemo's character is very unique, but I don't feel like and all the rest of the crew that were on there, because they hardly have any speaking lines, any of the other crew, but they were all willing to just plummet to their deaths because Nemo was dying. I mean, if that's me, I'm like, get out of the way, Nemo. I'm going to steer this baby back up. We're getting off this thing.
So you're a Ned type of person.
But I'm not going down and dying just because Nemo decided I got shot. We need to all die. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take Nemo down into the bottom. Let's get our dive suits on and let's bury him like we did that other guy. I thought that was a cool scene, by the way.
Yeah.
Where they buried that guy underwater. That was kind of cool.
That was like a really good way to introduce the characters.
Well, that was a really good way to introduce the fact that they did everything underwater.
Yeah. All right. So, did you like the trio of the Professor, Conseil, and Ned Land?
Did I like the trio? Not really. I like Ned. I like the Professor. The other guy, what's his name?
Conseil.
I didn't like him. I didn't like his character.
All right. Hold on.
Hopefully I don't offend anybody there, but I felt like his character was just odd. Very odd.
All right.
I mean, here he's worked with the Professor for quite some time.
I'll be right back.
And then during all of that time of working with the Professor, he seems like he's still a rookie at it all. And so to me, he just didn't know as much or didn't understand as much. And so, as he should have. What do you guys think? Y'all comment and let me know. I mean, don't leave me out here to dry and drown here. Pun intended. You know, what do y'all think about the trio as a set? I mean, do you like that trio, or would you have changed out one character for somebody else, maybe a different type of character? I think that having the Professor's assistant, that was what he was, correct?
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Well, apprentice. Let me rephrase.
Well, apprentice. But I mean, if you really think about it, you're looking at that guy. He's not about to take over for that Professor. I mean, he comes off like an idiot in the movie.
Sort of. I think he was more, at least to me.
And he's older. Like, you know, you would think he would be more wise. He wasn't like a 25-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah.
He seemed more mature in years, but yet he was like mentally ill prepared for a lot of it.
Yeah. The thing I just thought about it was, I think Conseil was supposed to be kind of like a character who was still learning about who was correct in each situation. So was Ned correct on trying to escape? Was the Professor correct on trying to wait, on trying to change Nemo's thoughts, or was Nemo correct?
Well, Dustin says he didn't care for all of them together. And Michelle, she says she liked the trio.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like them necessarily. I didn't think they really could have played off. They could have played off a little bit.
I felt like Ned and the Professor are the reasons it went off so well. That's just me. But the other guy, really, I mean, thinking about the movie, he did do a good job of being a go-between the two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he turned against Ned and ratted him out to the Professor. And then the Professor would send him to do his bidding, and then he wasn't ratting him out. And then, you know, he turns against the Professor and starts helping the guy throw bottles of notes out the top of the hatch.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so to me, yeah, I'm just not a fan of his. I felt like his character was kind of a waste.
Yeah. All right. So what did you guys think?
Cole doesn't agree, but that's okay.
There were moments. What did you guys think of the Nautilus?
I thought it was cool.
I mean, I thought the Nautilus was really cool going in, but after about 30 minutes of being in the Nautilus, it got pretty boring to me, honestly, because it was just gray wall all along it for the majority of the film.
I would say that's realistic of a submarine.
I mean, yeah, it is very realistic.
And what do you guys think? What did you think of the Nautilus? I mean, I thought it was the coolest looking submarine for the mid-1950s that I would have ever thought of. I mean, that's pretty slick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know about some of the ways things work in submarines. So the whole, you know, room where they would drop out into the water, I don't know how that works. That seems like it would just take on water there to me, but I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm with you, Lance. I thought it was great. I liked the submarine. That was my favorite part of the whole movie.
I still liked it. And I will say one of the most noteworthy things was when they were going into the submarine for the first time. I was like, all right, this is actually really cool. I just thought the gray aesthetics for the majority of the film was kind of, I don't know, maybe boring. It may just be me, but I just thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah. Allie said that he spied in Ned and got a punch. Ned punched him, remember?
Yeah.
Right in the face.
Yep. Actually, Ned
punched him in the face, and then he punched Ned in the gut.
Yeah.
Dustin says, I liked it the whole time talking about, I think, the Nautilus. And I'll agree. Lance said, awesome. Loved the effects. And it was scary. Michelle says,
scarring.
Scarring. I think she was saying scary looking.
Oh.
With the green lights. I would agree with you on all those, really. If that thing had been in the water and I'd have been in some body of water somewhere and that thing was coming at me with them green lights, might have messed my pants. I mean, it'd have been bad. It'd have been bad news, boy.
Ramming into boats.
Yeah.
It would have been bad.
And it was a bad machine because it was ramming into boats and taking them out. I mean, that's crazy cool. That's like a human, almost like a torpedo effect.
7 likes, by the way.
But we appreciate the likes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I figured you meant scary. But I thought the Nautilus was cool. If there was anything about that movie that's awesome, the most awesome thing in it was the Nautilus.
All right. So
to me.
All right. So what were your opinions on Captain Nemo? I mean, I think you have.
I like Captain Nemo. I mean, I think he's a little misunderstood in the movie, but I think his thought process made sense, but yet it was still kind of out of whack. So you could see where he was getting his logic of why he was doing what he was doing, and that was okay. I do think he was a jerk. I agree with you, Emily, but I think he was a jerk with a purpose. And that purpose was misguided.
In my opinion, I thought he was very stoic.
I'll tell you what I would relate it to, and people may not like this, but that's okay. I'm a pastor. I'm gonna get away with this, I feel like. So at one time in Christian history, you had the Crusades went on, where these knights would go and fight for the gospel and for Christ, and they would kill people, and it was a treacherous time. And I feel like, kind of what they did during that time was very similar to what Nemo was doing.
I mean,
and you have this somewhat right idea, but you approach it with all the wrong way. And that was Nemo in the movie. He had a good concept, but the problem was he approached the good concept with all the wrong intentions or with the wrong motives.
Yeah.
And maybe the right motive is the wrong approach.
Yes.
I don't know. Some of his motives were even bad. I felt like he needed to be king and God. So I like his character. I'm in this like love-hate relationship. I liked his character and I liked where he was going, but I didn't like him till the very end, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I thought he was very interesting. I liked how he was so mysterious at the very beginning when you meet him. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what did you guys think of the Giant Squid?
And if you want to type in your answer still about the last question, I'd love to see something other than just me and Co and Emily. But certainly 3 good perspectives of Nemo, I feel like, and none of them are wrong. I mean, he was a jerk.
Yeah.
Of course, Ned was kind of a jerk too.
Yeah, very much so. The
professor was the nicest guy and the most well-rounded of the whole movie to me.
Mm-hmm.
Most well-rounded, but
yeah. All right. So, what did you guys think of the Giant Squid? We haven't really talked about that, although that's the cover, like the poster.
What did we think about the Giant Squid?
The squid was cool. That's what Lance said. That's good.
Certainly would have been cool in 1954.
Oh my gosh.
That thing would have been crazy in the theater in 1954.
Dude, I can just imagine all the people in the audience just watching.
Oh, yeah. That would have been amazing. I mean, we're looking at it in a different time frame now.
I mean, honestly, still it's pretty cool.
It was a cool scene. It really was.
I mean, thinking about it, it was all real items. Like, it was
The only thing I would say about the squid scene is it drug on forever.
It did drag on for a while.
And that dragging on made it less. If they'd have ended that thing in about 2/3 of that time instead of that length, I feel like it would have made the movie better.
Yeah.
Because you get too much of it.
And I thought it was good that Ned actually kind of had a sincere moment, kind of showing the captain that there is some good in humanity.
Well, and I think it shook the Nemo, but then he went right back to his same old self.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
I mean,
I understand why he did it, but
I don't understand why he went back to the same old self.
Well,
because he felt like it was a momentary.
Yeah.
You know, what does he expect people to act perfect all the time? It's a fallen world.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
All right. What's your next one?
How did you guys feel when Nemo killed all those people?
You mean talking about when he blew up the island or when he rammed the boats?
When he rammed the boats.
No, because I mean, probably the same basic concept each way. It's all for the same reasons. So what do you guys think? I want to hear some of y'all's ideas on that. How did it make you feel every time Nemo would kill all those people? I mean, were you like, yeah, get them? Or were you like, why? I mean, to me, that's what I kept thinking. Why? Why are you blowing everything up? And then at the end, I realized, with that last two situations, whenever he rams that boat after showing him on the island, all the people running stuff, and then on the other one.
Yeah, I was just thinking about something. Something kind of came to question for me just now. He says he didn't like the boats because his wife and child were tortured and he was sold in slavery on that. But like you said, a lot of it seemed to make more sense if you take into consideration at the very end all the knowledge and stuff. So I almost wonder, did he lie? This is a critical question, like a analysis of the movie. Do you think that he was lying about his wife and kids and maybe even him being sold on as slavery?
I don't think he was lying. I think that those were part of the process.
Or do you think that was
part of the difficulties? I think it was just part of the culmination. I don't think in life that we become rigid, and I'm just speaking personally here. I think a lot of people become rigid to other people because of what happens in our lives. I mean, other people influence us, and they change who we are for the good or for the worse. And sometimes, we have an encounter with a certain type of person 2 or 3 times, and it changes how we view that type of person. I mean, it's a bias, and it's just part of society, like it or not. That's why we have racism. That's why we have things like that. It's because we're not born racists. We're not born bigots. We're not born any of that stuff. That's a learned and taught behavior. And sometimes it's taught from parents, and then other times it's taught from behavior that happens within our lives. Yeah. And so it takes a lot of overcoming to overcome that. And I think that in Nemo's situation, all those things that he says happened. I just think that as time went on, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And so he became more hardened and more hardened and more hardened till in the end, he almost has this, I'm being very biblical tonight, he almost has this Pharaoh moment where he lets the people go when Ned saves him. He has this moment where he's like, oh, maybe I've been wrong and it's not so bad. And you kind of see that struggle with the professor the whole time too. And then it's Ned, and he's like, oh, I've been so wrong. And then Ned's like, I wish I'd let you die or whatever. Yeah. I don't know why I saved you. And then he's just like, never mind. All that change and thought in his brain, and no, he's back. He's just done. He's ready to, destroy the island and lock it all off because of old Ned.
Yeah.
Well, of course, at this point, they don't know that. He doesn't know that Ned sold him up the river till a little bit after that.
Yeah. All right. So this is basically the final question.
I don't know if I answered your question.
I mean, yeah, I should have.
I felt betrayed by you guys write and let us know. Cole says he felt betrayed by Nemo.
Weirdly enough.
I feel like I understood Nemo's character. I feel like it was a bad, dark character, but I get it, Yeah. I can relate to the inner struggle between, trusting people and loving people and opening up to them. That was the real deal. He was just closed off to the world. And I think that's what people struggle with.
Yeah. All right. So I have one basic final thing.
Dustin says, I think I understood where Nemo was coming from and his thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the basic final question. If this movie was to be remade, who would you want to play the characters? I couldn't come up with too many, but I did come up with one, and I thought this was a really good one. For Captain Nemo, I think it would be awesome if Tom Hanks played him.
That's a pretty dark character for Tom Hanks.
Honestly, the original, if you're thinking back, even the original Toy Story was pretty dark. I think he could play it.
Yeah, but Nemo's kind of almost an evil guy in this movie.
I think it would
and
be
I think
interesting.
Tom Hanks is not usually an evil guy in a movie, but maybe. Who would I pick to play some of these people? Well, you guys comment who you think also. Don't just let it be me and Cole with this banter back and forth. Comment who you think you would like to play Nemo and the professor and,
Actually, I just came up with another one that just popped into my head. You know the guy who plays in Elf? The one who's the guy who gets mistaken for an elf. Oh, what's his name?
Who are you talking about?
Oh, I can't think of his name. You guys know the name of the guy from Elf?
You're talking about the main character in Elf?
Matthew McConaughey.
That's for Ned. That's her guess. Okay. That's not who you're talking about.
Yeah, I just realized that.
The person you're talking about. That's a good one for Ned, by the way. That's a great one for Ned.
I was thinking that guy for Ned. That would be a pretty good one in my opinion.
You're talking about he was on Saturday Night Live. Will Ferrell. Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you. I think it'd be pretty good for Ned, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. He usually plays a happy, fun role.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe he would be good. This is why I'm not a director in Hollywood. I think that you threw me off with the whole Tom Hanks thing. I was thinking like a Dennis Quaid Nemo, someone very serious. He can be dark if he needs to be. I think Dennis Quaid for a Nemo would be a pretty stellar character. Peter is the professor. Okay. As a professor sidekick.
Michael Caine for the professor.
Okay, yeah.
I might have said that wrong, but
yeah. Who's the guy from Jurassic Park?
Oh, are you talking about the old one?
No, the one that he would be a good professor though. The one who owned the island.
Oh, dude, that would
be a good professor. At least I feel like stop bouncing. You're making the thing go out of focus. I think he would be a good professor. But anyhow,
yeah.
Who would play the?
He's dead apparently.
Oh, is he? Well, then he wouldn't play a good one now, would he? That'd be hard to do. I was going to say. Now, y'all were here last week. You know what I said about Chris Pratt. That's not my favorite actor because he's a little vulgar. But Chris Pratt would be a great Ned.
Maybe.
At least I feel like he would because he's action-packed enough and lively enough. I feel like he could fit that role well.
Yeah.
That would be a good Ned.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the final thoughts on the movie. So what would you guys rate this film from a 1 to 10?
Sean Connery as Nemo. That would be a good one. I agree. That would be a good one. Or Sean Connery as the professor, even. Either one, he could play either one of those roles well.
All right. So from 1 to 10, what would you rate
Cole's
this
like,
film?
who's Sean Connery?
Emily said a 7.
You would. What was the question?
1 to 10, what would you rate the film?
1 to 10, what would I rate the film?
I'm like a 6.5 to a 7.
Well, I gave Onward a solid 8, right?
Yeah.
I would give this one. Taking into consideration that this is the year 2020 and it came out in 1954 or 55, I would give it, for 1955, I would give it a solid 8.
All right.
But just across times and all movies, I'd give it a 7.
Yeah. All right. So Michelle said a 7 for her and an 8 for Lance.
Lance didn't know what he's talking about. He's still stuck in 1955.
All right.
He's not even old enough to be from 1955.
So
he just likes it because it's on the side of his Jeep. All right. What's your next one?
Would you recommend this film to a friend? For me, I would only recommend this film to a friend if they were really interested in either film history or Disney history, or even maybe Disney park history, because it's very, or I mean, one other person, maybe somebody who's analytically trying to really watch a film, trying to see the philosophy of a film. I'd say those 3 type of people I would recommend it to, but
I don't know. I would say this. I think in a quarantine situation, and you've watched a bunch of other movies and you're ready to watch something that's just not reality TV garbage now, this is a great old film. Sit down with some popcorn, drop some Hershey's chocolates in the top of it or something, and eat it.
Very kid-friendly, honestly.
I think it works well for that.
It's also
like a rainy day movie.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think that it would work well to say, hey, invite the teenage kids in the neighborhood to come around and, watch with your teenage kids. They're probably not going to enjoy it as much. They're just going to be trying to make out on the couch or something. They're not going to be interested in the movie.
I didn't even know why you said that.
Well,
I mean, I don't have any friends that come over and watch TV on the couch, but
Well, I know you don't, but I'm just saying that would be the situation for that movie.
You're painting a picture of me when you say stuff like that.
Yeah.
That does not happen.
That's not cool. All right, next question.
Do you think you'll watch this movie again anytime soon?
No, probably not. I mean, this is like a once every now and then movie for me.
This is a once maybe a year, maybe 2 years for me, because it's such a long movie. It's like Star Wars, honestly. Star Wars is such a long. Well, I say that.
Not me. Star Wars is 5 times. I mean, I could watch it over and over.
You watch Rogue One every time you go to the gym.
I do. It's my workout jam. But this is not Rogue One. This is not Star Wars.
Michelle said
they don't
won't
compete.
Watch it again, probably ever. Lance may have something to say.
Michelle, I'm with you a little bit on that. I mean, I would maybe watch it if we were doing some sort of a old, style movie watching marathon, which we don't ever do. But if that were to come up, maybe then. But Emily, you're right. Rogue One is the best.
Yeah.
The best of the whole series. All of them. All of them. It's the best. Even better than the originals. Because it's unexpected. You know what's going to happen in all the rest. It's the same plot line.
Technically, episode 6 or 4 spoil the movie for you. They have a little line of dialogue that spoils the movie, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched the movie yet.
What are you talking about? Rogue One?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Lance's phone died, but he said you can't ever compare this to Star Wars. That's true.
It's not the same. That's right.
Not the same.
It's not in the same era. But I will say this. Here we sit. Star Wars came out in the 70s, the first 3 that were released. This came out 20 years earlier. In 20 years, Star Wars will not be as dated as this movie is today.
Honestly, really, it will not.
I mean, I just don't think it will. But
because it has very good characterization and
it's just got a lot better plot line.
Yeah.
But, we're not talking about Star Wars here. We're talking about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
And 20,000
Leagues was a great
film
movie
for 1954.
That's right. That's
I
right.
agree with you.
And I would say that if you're ever, like Cole said, looking into old history movies and that sort of thing, historical aspects of movies, this is a must-see.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, for most people, it's going to be a once and done. Mm-hmm. For some of us, it might be a once every now and then.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a once every long now and then.
I mean, for me, honestly, I like to watch a lot of old films. I could probably watch this film every 2 years or so and really enjoy it. So, all right. So now it's time
for next week's
video. I chose.
So we took the idea of this. What all movies came out in the month of April? Yeah. Next week's like the last week of April. So we thought, what movies have come out in April in Disney's history? And so Cole has selected 5 movies from that. And so we're going to list those 5 movies, and then you guys vote and tell us which of those 5 movies you want to watch this week and talk about next week.
Yeah, so I chose 5 movies that were really stood out. The first one is The Newsies,
which came out just a few years back.
Yeah,
maybe
it came out
15 years ago,
somewhere around that time. The live-action Jungle Book, which came out 2012, and I heard Lance said last week maybe do a Lion King versus the remake, and maybe watch both of them.
You could do a Jungle Book original versus Jungle Book live action, maybe.
And we can, if you guys want to do that with the Jungle Book, because it kind of fits this thing, we can do that.
And then there's the Goofy movie.
Goofy movie. That's probably one of my favorite movies. Just saying, guys, if you guys want to get me excited about it. We could also watch Holes, and then The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
All right, so our 5 categories our 5 ones to vote on are Newsies, live action Jungle Book, Goofy movie, Holes, or The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. So you guys comment what you would like to watch, and whatever gets the most comments, that's what we're going to run with, as long as they're not repeat comments. In other words, don't just go, oh, I want this one, this one, this one, this one, over and over.
Holes.
So Holes, Newsies.
Newsies.
Allie said the Goofy movie.
All right. Goofy movie. Tallying them up. Holes again.
Holes from Tammy. I was just dancing in
Newsies
front of,
for Lance and I. So I guess that's 2 votes because they both can't do it.
But Dustin already said the Newsies.
Yeah, but I'm saying plus I was saying Michelle and Lance because his phone died.
Now, Michelle, are you just saying that and just taking his vote? I have no clue what Holes is.
All right, Newsies is winning so far.
All right, what was your vote, Cole?
I said a Goofy movie.
All right.
I'm probably going to vote for it every time I get the chance. I just watched the Newsies, so either way.
I was thinking Holes because I like the show. So that was my vote, Holes.
All right, we need one other person to vote. Baby loved my Newsies dance. Remember, he said he.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a Goofy movie too. Or we watched a Goofy movie too, said Emily. It's cool.
I mean, and I think with this list, we could have picked any of them and it would have worked. But I can tell none of y'all like the Jungle Book. I'm very disappointed.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
So. Yeah, or I watched that every year in school when I was growing up.
All right, so we have a tie between the Newsies and Holes.
All right, so let's revote with just Newsies and Holes.
Anthony said he wants, or Dustin said Anthony wants Newsies.
Anthony wants Newsies.
All right. Anyone else? The Jungle Book Dad. I've never seen that. Allie said Goofy earlier, so. Allie said she wants. Are we voting?
Did Emily already comment earlier? She said,
Yeah, she's
okay.
I already wrote that.
Okay.
All right, so.
All right. Well, that last minute vote from Anthony pushed us over for the Newsies.
So
it looks like the Newsies is what it is by one vote.
And I hear that's a great musical. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I've never seen it, so it'll be new to me. That'll be a new one. So next week we'll look at Newsies so watch that on Disney Plus this week, and then we'll discuss similar questions to what we did tonight, but not the same ones. And so we'll look to do that with y'all next week. Mm-hmm. We appreciate y'all for watching, and we've had a great time discussing this movie with you.
Thank you for 7 likes, everyone.
Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed, click over and subscribe. And
remember, when we get to 250, we're doing that giveaway.
At 250, we have the giveaway. It's the Mickey's Main Attraction set from January. It's worth like $80 now. I can't believe it. And so we'll be giving that away at 250 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, click that button. We appreciate it. Andy H, nice to see you.
I know the Broadway one is on there too, Emily, but we're really sticking to movies for now. Maybe we can watch it another time.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. All right. Well, so we're just doing the movie one for Newsies.
Yep.
And so y'all watch that, and we'll see y'all next week. And until next time,
from our house to yours.